The Trail of Katowice Murals. Mona Tusch, activist, artist, a lover of post-industrial spaces, twisted roots, urban greenery, and a bicycle. In her works, she uses various materials including colored glass, wood, or metal. It combines mosaic and painting. And at the creation of its murals, benefits also willingly with the help of the residents. Mr. Piotr, what else could you say? Mr. Piotr said, I'd say we mentioned the Street Art Festival. We have mentioned that we are bringing graffitarians from the distant world, from Argentina, Germany, France, from anywhere. And we have in Katowice an artist who has graduated the Academy of Fine Arts in Katowice, living in Szymonowice. At that time, that is, one of the more Silesian districts, yet rooted in their Silesia. This artist paints not only in Katowice, where she imprinted herself quite heavily on the walls, but also paints in Łódź, paints in Warsaw. I think she's going to be painting all over the world. Mona Tusch is something of our local Banksy. I mean, there are those who they saw, even a mass photo appeared in Gazeta Wyborcza. But in general, there is not much interest in having her name widely known, and also too much, I don't want to talk about my life. She's a metaphorical artist. Her paintings are stylistically very nice. Her paintings vary from bold to very subtle. She decorates different kinds of walls. As mentioned, she listens to what people talk and tries to make people make it a pleasure. On the one hand, she gives her artistry, sensitivity, and communicates her works, but on the other hand, addresses them to specific people, as well as in their work, tries to tell a story about a broader global problem. A colleague is about to tell you about existing murals, and I'll remind you of one that doesn't exist. We said that a mural is a fleeting art. Mural is the art that may be painted, although in principle shouldn't be. Mona Tusch had such a coincidence that she fought with another graphic designer for this wall itself. When those bums just ruined one of their murals, the next artist decided that it was already a free wall. Well, and then there was this argument. In 2018, Mona Tusch, on the wall building at Młynska, she painted a mural related to the climate itself. It was a big empty wall on the parking lot, and this mural was very natural. There was a lot of nature and a lot of subtle lines that I like. And this mural, unfortunately, has been built up by the hotel, to what turned out to be widespread outrage in the city on various voices we heard in the forums that you can build something that nice. Likely cost of living on this mural would be at the expense of not building a hotel, so the cities would believe it was not affordable, but more important. It was very vivid and violent residents to the disappearance of this mural on Młynska Street in Katowice. Lecturer said, in reference to what you were saying, Mr. Piotr, actually, Mona creates an historic world of spirit and emotion that fills with biological textures and some space creatures. Miss Barbara said, what else were Mona's origins? Miss Barbara said, the first mural I know is the mural that still exists today, which was established in 2011 in Załęże. About that, we've already talked about. The co-founder of this mural was another, the creator of street art, Raspazian. The mural was built on the so-called House Guardian Angels. It is a place where children are taken care of at risk of social exclusion, where there are groups that meet, where children can do their homework in peace, where it is also granted helping all the families. That's where the kids who went to the house classes, Guardian Angels, they had the opportunity to cover the house with paintings. They were renewed many times later, but they still exist today. You can see the House of Guardian Angels in the Crew. That was the first, at least the one I know. Later, numerous other murals were created. Among others, beautiful murals are located in Katowice. In the yard, There Are Two Theatres on 3rd of May 11th, Theatre Without a Scene, Andrzej Dopiała, and Theatre Apart. There, the first mural occupying the entire wall of the yard. It's called 8 Miles North of Crowflight, which title has been taken from the book God's Warriors. Andrzej Sapkowski, a mural, refers to the place where the theatres are located. It introduces viewers who are staring into one high point. It was also the first mural where Mona Tush, in addition to painting, used mosaics. There is a mosaic made of multicolored glass tiles in the same gate, just a little further in transition to the next inner courtyard. There is a second mural. It's called One Mother, Different Dreams. It's made for the association Fami.Loc, Active Seniors. Both of these murals were created in 2015. Lecturer said, "Here I'm going to bring in all of these people, not just the theatre people, but also Mona's fans, or people who would like to get acquainted with her work. At Theatre Without a Scene, Anje Dopiawa, there are unused sketches that belong to Mona that can be admired on the wall at the entrance. In addition, on the mural was the immortalized Mrs. Eva Dopiawa, who is the president of the Fami.Loc Association about which Miss Barbara, just before she mentioned in a moment, and when creating a mural was also helped by members of the Alpine Club. It's just like on the very beginning that we indicated. Mona is very happy to use the help of inhabitants. Miss Barbara, is there anything else you'd like to add?" Miss Barbara said, "Yeah, I'll tell you about the other murals personally. I really like these murals of Mona Tush. These are the plants that are often in some confined spaces in tubes. Whether they are trying to get out of these tubes, if you can say so, I see a little reference here to the art of secession. It's also so twisted, the roots, twisted plants, which often can be found in the old Art Nouveau Katowice, tenement houses. She's making some kind of reference to it, wherein its murals are also normally maintained in such a tone grey beige green. I like that a lot too. Another interesting mural, which is located in Katowice, in the Bagno district, Rozdzienska. It was established in 2019 on the initiative of the Museum Zinc Metallurgy. There is also a lot of plants, as well as in the upper part of this mural, is the image of Flora, who is the patron saint of plants, and who sows plants, and the patron saint of Florian metallurgists, who watered these plants. At the same time, water vapor rises above them over the industrial motifs. The last mural to rise again in Załęże, this time at Street 130, Glawicka Street, located on the wall of the block. Mural occupying this entire wall depicts Winczka's horse, referring to the well-known Gustav Morcinek's short story, Wysek z pokładu idę. It was created at the initiative of the Silesian Puppet and Actor Theatre Athenaeum in Katowice, where the premiere of the performance took place 2 years ago. Wysek z pokładu idę, directed by Konrad Dworakowski. This mural was solemnly unveiled in September 2021, and a large share in the painting of this the inhabitants of Załęże district had the mural. Mr. Piotr said, "Mona can be more than subtle, historic, flaccid, ephemeral. It can also be after Silesian, shabby, in front of the Wilson shaft on Podgruba." Yes, called A Piece of Janów, is an image of pigs and such a lush woman, also signed Podgruba. Of course, this is a joke, but in a completely different climate from the other Mona's ephemeral paintings. Good, because the artist should be versatile. Lecturer said, "That's it for today. We end our meetings with the trail of Katowice's murals. First of all, thank you very much for our guests, Mr. Piotr and Miss Barbara. I cordially invite you to Katowice to walk around the trail of Katowice walls and getting to know them a little bit better. This project is funded by government budgets. The podcasts have been read by Braden Buddy.